Punches are not made, they are born.
What if I told you there was once a fighter so terrifying, so unrelenting, that opponents were broken before they even stepped into the ring? Not because of trash talk, not because of fame, but because of how he trained. This isn't just another boxing story. This is about pain, discipline, isolation, and a mind molded to destroy. Forget the Instagram workouts and protein shake sponsorships. We're going back to a time when greatness was built in the shadows, where training wasn't about brand deals, it was about survival. Welcome to the savage world of Mike Tyson. And the man who forged him, Cus D'Amato. In the 1980s, while the world was obsessed with glitz, Tyson was locked away in the Catskill Mountains, living a life closer to a monk than a millionaire. A teenager with no direction, no stability, and no real home. Until Cus took him in. Cus didn't just train Tyson to throw punches. He rewired his brain, transformed a scared, angry kid into a wrecking machine. If Rocky Marciano was forged in fire, Mike Tyson was forged in a psychological storm, a storm named Cus D'Amato. This is the story of how the most feared heavyweight in history was created. Through obsession, through suffering, through warlike discipline. Mike Tyson wasn't supposed to be anything. Born in Brownsville, Brooklyn, one of the toughest neighborhoods in America. His father abandoned him. His mother died when he was 16. Before he was a teenager, Mike had been arrested over 30 times. Robbery, assault, survival. But inside that chaos lived something else. Raw, explosive potential. When Tyson first laced up gloves, trainers at Tryon School for Boys saw something terrifying. A kid who could move like a panther and hit like a truck. Eventually, he was sent to Cus D'Amato, a boxing philosopher, part mad scientist, part father figure. Cus wasn't your typical trainer. He believed boxing was 80% psychological and only 20% physical. His goal wasn't to create a fighter, it was to build a weapon. He introduced Tyson to the peekaboo style, a defensive tight guard system built for speed, explosion, and brutal counterpunching. But more importantly, he introduced Tyson to something more powerful than footwork, the mind. Every morning, Tyson would be forced to repeat affirmations. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious champion there's ever been. Cus was programming Tyson to believe, no, to know, that he was unstoppable. Tyson didn't live like a star. He lived like a prisoner of greatness. His day started at 4 a.m., not because he wanted to, but because Cus made him understand. While your opponent is sleeping, you're working. Morning jog. 5 miles. Barefoot in the snow when needed, followed by 600 sit-ups, 400 push-ups, 100 shrugs with a 60-pound barbell. Shadowboxing until his arms went numb. And then the real torture began. Heavy bag, 60 minutes, no break, every combination drilled until it became second nature. And every punch had a goal, destroy. Tyson's body was forged through repetition, 2,000 squats per week, calisthenics until his muscles screamed, rope work until his calves burned. Every day, no cheat meals, no weekends, no distractions. The only breaks? Studying old fighters. Tyson didn't just train like a beast, he studied like a scholar. Jack Dempsey, Joe Louis, Sonny Liston. He watched their tapes hundreds of times, learning their secrets, visualizing their weaknesses. Most boxers save their best for the ring. Tyson gave his best in the gym. Sparring wasn't practice, it was war. He fought grown men as a teenager. Pros, champions, guys with 50 fights. Cus made sure Tyson didn't just learn to fight, he learned to destroy. If a sparring partner couldn't keep up, they were sent home. Broken ribs, broken noses, bruised egos. Witnesses from Tyson's camps recall it like watching a young lion devour everything in sight. One trainer said, I saw Mike spar 10 rounds straight against 3 fresh men and he hurt all of them. He wasn't sparring, he was hunting. Tyson wasn't fearless, he was full of fear, but Cus taught him something wild. Use it. Fear is like fire, Cus would say. It can cook your food or burn your house down. Tyson learned to weaponize fear, his own and his opponent's. Before every fight, Tyson would cry in the locker room, not out of weakness, but release. All the pressure, all the training, it boiled over. But when he walked out, he was cold, empty, ready. Cus taught Tyson to hypnotize himself, to believe he was a god of war, to believe he could not lose, because once your mind breaks, the body follows. No girlfriends, no parties, no money. Tyson had access to nothing but training. He lived in Cus's home, did chores, and followed rules tighter than the military. 9 solar p.m., bedtime, no exceptions. 4 solar a.m., alarm, no excuses. There was no backup plan. No, if this doesn't work out. Cus burned the bridges behind Tyson. There was only forward. By 18, Tyson had become a myth. Fast, explosive, mean. In 1986, at just 20 years old, he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history. His opponents were often beaten before the first bell. They'd see the stare, the calm violence in his eyes, the stories of his training, the endless hours, and they'd realize they didn't want it like he did. It wasn't just power, it was everything else. The movement, the head slips, the angles, the pure savagery. Tyson trained to end fights in round one, and most of the time he did. Cus didn't teach Tyson to fight, he taught him how to be obsessed. The hero and the coward both feel fear, Cus said. But it's what they do with it that matters. Tyson wasn't born great, he was forged. Every second of every day was calculated. Eat, train, sleep, repeat. There were no cheat days, no I'm tired, no distractions. When Cus died in 1985, Tyson's world shifted. The man who controlled his mind, his soul, his focus, was gone. And slowly the discipline eroded. The monster was still there. But the general behind the monster was gone. Tyson kept winning. But the cracks formed. Fame, fortune, chaos, and the training that made him a legend faded into memory. Could a fighter today endure what Tyson endured? Could they live like a monk? Spar like a killer? Wake up at 4 a.m. in the snow with no fame, no money, just belief? Most wouldn't last a week. Because what made Tyson dangerous wasn't just muscle, it was the discipline, the fearlessness, the obsession. Mike Tyson wasn't born Iron Mike, he was created through pain, through sweat, through the savage genius of Cus D'Amato. So here's the question, could you do it?